Hello again and welcome to our June 2022 edition of Quick Kit. Links to everything we mentioned will be down in the description below. Let's get into it. ATOMOS have released the Zato Connect 5-inch, an affordable streaming and monitoring solution. It looks very similar to the Ninja 5 and actually features the same 1000 nit display, but instead of being designed for recording, its focus is for live streaming. It's got a good range of inputs and outputs, meaning you can feed computers, consoles or cameras into it easily at up to 1080p 60fps. There is also a 3.5mm mic line in and a headphone out, which you can mix on the unit itself along with your other audio sources. The unit can be powered via battery, USB-C power delivery or DC. This means that you can easily mount and power it while attached to a camera rig or in any other scenario. This could be a great way to both monitor and stream a camera in one compact package. You can also record on the unit using the SD card slot on the side of it in H.264. If you want to stream directly just using the device and no computer, you can connect it to your network wirelessly via Wi-Fi 5G or via Ethernet using a USB-C adapter. I think it would have been good if they'd included some kind of internal SIM card solution, but that would have probably upped the price. And it's actually quite affordable at just £390, which is only about £80 extra on top of the Shinobi, though it does lack some of the same monitoring features that has. It certainly does look like a good value proposition though. One thing worth considering though is that if you want to stream directly to a platform, you will need to use ATOMOS' Cloud Studio to manage your stream keys. ATOMOS will be offering both a free and paid service for this, which will depend on what features and platforms you require streaming to. You can pre-order the Zato Connect now on our website, and you'll currently receive a 3-month sub to Cloud Studio and an NDI HX activation key worth £99. DJI announced 2 new gimbals as well as a new wireless video system. The 2 new gimbals being the RS3 and the RS3 Pro. The RS3 is a successor to the RSC2, so it is the smaller out of the 2 new ones. It can handle payloads up to 3 kilograms or 6.6 pounds and has a bunch of new physical design improvements. Both new gimbals feature new auto-access locks for faster and easier transport, a 1.8-inch OLED touchscreen and gimbal mode switch. The RS3 Pro is the successor to the RS2 and can handle payloads up to 4.5 kilograms or 10 pounds, which is roughly the same as the max payload of the RS2. But there are loads of other upgrades around the gimbal worth noting. It features a new smaller focus motor, which can now be paired with the new LiDAR focusing system, which is similar to the one found on the 4D. With some improvements though. It will integrate nicely with the new DJI transmission system. It has a range of new physical upgrades such as more robust and longer arms, which will result in the ability to balance larger systems like the FX6 and C70 much easier than on the RS2. It looks like quite a neat system, and I'm sure for anyone looking at this size of gimbal, it's certainly going to be a great option. With the Ronin 4D, DJI introduced a wireless monitoring system as well, and I'm happy to say that they are now offering this system separately to it in the form of their new transmission system. It's independent from any other system, but will integrate well with DJI kit of course. Currently, there is no receiver available separately to the high bright monitor that is part of the kit, which has the receiver built into it. So if you want to feed your wireless feed out into another monitoring solution, you'll have to grab the expansion module for the wireless monitor and then feed out into whatever other monitor you want it to output to, which is a bit of a shame. Hopefully DJI will release a dedicated receiver in the form of a smaller TX. The monitor is really nice though. It has good monitoring features and you can even control cameras through it with the right configuration. Range wise, it's rated for a massive 20,000 foot, but this will obviously be an absolute best case scenario. However, when we tested the 4D a while back, we did find the range to be excellent. Latency wise, we haven't managed to test it fully yet, but from what I've seen, it doesn't look to be quite as good as the more expensive zero delay latency systems, but also not as slow as the more affordable options. At just shy of £2,000 for what you get in this system, it's pretty damn good considering the quality of the monitor and the range it has. But whether it's the right solution for you to invest into will depend on your needs. Blackmagic has just announced the Pocket Cinema Camera 6K G2. The 6K G2 is essentially a Pocket 6K Pro with the built-in ND system removed, and the rear LCD is a lower brightness version of the 1500 nits one found on the Pocket 6K Pro. Otherwise, it features all the other improvements from the 6K Pro, such as the ability to use Sony NPF 570 style batteries, compatibility with the Pocket Pro EVF, and a tilty screen mechanic on the back. Price wise, it will depend on what region you're in. but for us in the UK, it's priced at the same price as the Pocket 6K, which is only £100 less than the 6K Pro. So really at that price, I wouldn't recommend this over the Pro. The extra £100 to get the higher brightness screen and internal ND filters is a no-brainer for pretty much everyone. In the US, it's a $500 difference, which is actually quite a big chunk. And for people shooting controlled scenarios, that actually may be worth saving the money on because you might not need ND filters or the high bright screen. It's not the big refresh that everyone's been asking for, but for people in regions where there is a big price difference, it could be a good option. Let us know what you think down below. Alongside this new camera, Blackmagic also released a new camera update, 7.9, for the Pocket 4K, 6K, 6K G2 and 6K Pro. They also released a new version of Resolve. The firmware adds an updated user interface to the camera, support for focus assist intensity adjustments, support for custom presets, and improved autofocus performance. The 6K, 6K Pro and the new G2 will also now work with Blackmagic zoom and focus demands. They also announced gyro stabilization, which is what the new version of Resolve is bringing mainly. And this is basically using the same kind of technology as Sony's one, where it captures the gyro data in your camera and then helps calculate your stabilization in post. Resolve stabilization was already really good for what it is, and I can't wait to test this out to see how good it is. From what I've seen, it looks pretty decent, but you can't expect gimbal level performance out of something like this, of course. DJI Film has released two new products, their Vespid Cyber series of primes and their Marlin expander. The Vespid Cyber primes are the same optically as the existing Vespid primes, but with the addition of the new data interface function. At release, there will be a 35, 50 and 75mm available. This new interface uses a 4-pin Limon connector that allows real-time readout of iris and focus information. These were announced at the same time as the DJI RS3s, because you can use these primes with the RS3's new LiDAR system to get autofocus without the need for calibrating the lens each time. However, this kind of data output is also important for virtual production, so these could be a good budget option for people in that space. We've reviewed the Vespids before, so if you want to learn more, check out the review via the description below. They also released the Marlin range of full frame expanders for Super 35 lenses. This allows you to turn your lenses that cover Super 35 into full frame ones at the expense of adding something behind your lens and losing roughly a stop's worth of light. We've got one in to test at the moment, so if you're interested, drop a comment below and we can let you know how it performs when we get a chance to test it. The Sony Alpha 1 was already an absolutely fantastic hybrid mirrorless camera, and Sony has made it even better with the introduction of firmware 1.3. This new update brings a range of new features such as the addition of 42 10-bit when shooting an XAVC HS 8K, which prior to this was limited to 420 10-bit. Eye autofocus has also seen an improvement, as well as a bunch of smaller things which you can see here. It's great to see Sony pushing more out of this camera, as Nikon has certainly given them a run for their money with their Z9 releasing and being so fully featured. Sigma has released a new ultra-wide zoom lens for E and L mount cameras, the 16-28mm f2.8 DGDN, which is part of their contemporary line of lenses. It looks super compact and lightweight. The Sony G Master is a massive lump in comparison, for example. It also doesn't extend when you zoom, which would be great for gimbal use. It has a close focus of 25cm, a front filter thread of 72mm, weighs roughly 450 grams, and features a 9-bladed iris. This paired with the 2870 from Sigma could make a really nice little pairing. We just need some more 7200 options from Sigma now. Price-wise, it's one of the most affordable options for E or L mount ultra-wide zooms, with Tamron really only coming close and the Sony lenses being much more expensive, especially the f2.8 G Master. ARRI has released a new Fresnel lens attachment for their incredible Orbiter LED fixture. This new attachment offers a controllable beam angle from 15 to 65 degrees. This can be controlled on the side of the fixture using the dial and LED screen, on the back of the fixture, or remotely. It's really cool that this is motorized, and will definitely make for some interesting shots. You can also add a 4 or 8 leaf barn door to control light even more. ARRI is stating that the light output of the Orbiter with the Fresnel lens is comparable to the ARRI L Series L10 and True Blue ST2 or 3 with a 2000 watt tungsten bulb. CoreSWX have released a bunch of new kit over the past month. First off is their B-mount Helix range of batteries for the ARRI Alexa 35. This also included a shark fin style plate for the camera too, which will allow you to hot swap between batteries. They also released the Direct Connect Helix plates for the Alexa 35. These plates attach to the back of the camera without the B-mount plate attached and allow you to use either V or gold mount with the correct 24 volt batteries. This could be a good option for any rentals that have already invested into 24-volt batteries that are V or gold mount. They've also shown off a new shark fin plate for the V Raptor, which is available in V or gold mount and will allow you to hot swap between batteries easily or run both batteries down simultaneously. You can also slide the right side of the plate near the ports backwards and forwards depending on what you have plugged into the I/O. This looks like quite a neat little solution for the Raptor. Atlas have released two new products, a 1.5x LF expander and adapter clamp in collaboration with Tilter. Atlas already have a 1.6x expander, but this 1.4x does have some refinements over it, and of course a slightly different magnification factor. The new 1.4x has roughly a stop's worth of light loss, is only available in PL to PL, now has markings on the side of the lens for back focus, which you can also use creatively, and it will still allow you to cover plenty of sensors. With this being a 1.4x expander, if you use this with a Super 35 format, you'll notice your images will zoom in because the focal length is changing by 1.4x, so a 100mm will turn into 140mm. Whether you need the 1.4 or the 1.6 will come down to what coverage you need. The other accessory was this diopter tray, and this allows you to quickly attach 138mm circular diopters to the front of the Atlas Orion series of lenses without the need to rig up a matte box onto your rig. This makes it not only a good lightweight option, but also affordable. It can also hold up to 2 diopters or circular filters. Right, let's get into our quick-fire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description below. Axoon has released the FC01 wireless follow focus system. Anton Bauer has released the VCLX NM2, a new block battery with some beefy output options. Aladdin has released the Mosaic flexible RGBWW LED lights. Aperture has announced a range of accessories and modifiers for the P600C, consisting of a set of barn doors, a softbox, space light, 45-degree metal grid, dual head yoke and a rain shield. ARRI released SUP 7.1.1 for the Alexa Mini LF. This has tweaked a few things, mainly around compact drive support. Astera announced the Hydra panel. Cream Source has announced the LNX rigging system. Deity have updated firmware for the BP-TRX. DJI has teamed up with Panasonic and Leica in their L-mount alliance, and have also confirmed that the Ronin 4D is getting ProRes Quad 4 XQ later this year. FX Lion and Hawkwoods have both announced B-Lock batteries for the LX35 system. Godox announced the SL302 bicolour cob LED fixture. Iron Glass have started to show off their Mark II version of their Helios 44-2 rehousing. Laowa have announced the silver edition of their upcoming Nanomorph series of lenses, as well as a 90mm f2.8 2x ultra macro APO for a range of mirrorless camera mounts. Lightbridge has added a Diff Zero Cine reflector to their CRLS system. Matthews has released their 3-eye spreader, which is designed for Romford and O'Connor Mitchell mount systems. Modern Film Tools have released a new cage for the Red V Raptor. Moment have announced a 1.33x front mount anamorphic adapter on Kickstarter. Mutiny announced the Raptor I/O and AV module for the V Raptor. Nanlite released the FS300B, a bicolour cob LED fixture aimed at a lower price point than their Forza series. Rigpack showed off the still frame camera harness at Cinegear. Subron has released 2 CF Express Type B cards. Smallrig and Wooden Camera have released rigging accessories for the Fuji X-H2S. Similite announced the Sima Laser, an eye-wateringly bright hard source LED fixture. Sony announced 3 APS-C lenses, the 10-20mm f4G, 15mm f1.4G, and 11mm f1.8. Swit released the Van Gogh RGBW LED panel series. Tamron released a new 17-70mm f2.8 for Fuji X-mount cameras. Teradek launched the Serve Micro, a new HDMI-only wireless video transmitter with streaming support. Tilter announced rigging and accessories for the R5C and their ecosystem for the RS3. Wooden Camera and Anton Bauer announced a series of new small battery adapter plates. Xeon announced the 5-ray FR100C, a portable LED stick, as well as the Weebill 3 gimbal system. And lastly, 8sin have released a cage for the Leica SL2. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe ready for next month's quick kit, and let us know what your favourite piece of kit to come out this month was in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.